Hello, Devils! We are back with Senior Stories, and today we have Makayla Womack coming in to tell us about her time as a Jackson Devil.
Hello.
Hello, Makayla. How's your day so far?
It's been good. It's been kind of boring with all the EOC testing and stuff. All we've been doing is sitting in class. So.
Yes, this week is a dread because it's not that hard, but it is that boring unless you're one of the students testing. In that case, it may be hard for you. But we wish you the best of luck if you still have to test, and if you already test, we hope you make a good score when it's released next week. All right, Makayla. So what did you enjoy most now that you are almost done at Jackson High School?
I think all the connections I made are definitely the best part because even though, I maybe won't talk to them after high school, I definitely, made some good friends, along the way. At first it was rough, there was a few people I don't know what happened. But, now I, can say, I found myself while finding friends. I definitely found,
Let's put that on a bumper sticker. That was perfect.
Yes. I found how to be a good person when I, met new friends. My friend Haley, she taught me how to be a good person. And, I definitely, found some good friends. And it really taught me, valuable lessons on how to be a good person. Because before I, started, I was not. And I was probably not the best friend. But now I learned a lot from all the people, I know now.
Well, that is very self-reflective and brave of you to say, but I'm glad that you had that experience and felt like you've grown as you've been a student here. So on the flip side, if you could talk to the adults in the building and just something from the student perspective that you feel like could be improved upon in the future or handled differently, what advice would you give the adults in the building?
I'd say just really listen to the students. I feel like sometimes if we have a problem, I feel like sometimes we're not being heard, especially if it's a big problem. I feel like we really should listen to these students because there's a lot going on during our high school experience. And we're already going through a lot, testing, learning. We just need someone to listen to us. So definitely just hear us out.
Yeah, and not to mention, I mean, some students also have things outside of the building that affect them inside, and that was something that we talked about in another podcast too. But I know the adults in the building oftentimes are focused on preparing you for employment and being in the workplace, but sometimes it is easy to forget that you are changing and growing and going through so many emotions, and it's a good reminder for us on the adult side here that we need to listen and remember that you guys have lives too that can make school hard.
And also remember that it's our first time doing this, so we're going to have questions. So I think also just be more open, and not be maybe they had a stressful day, but we come to y'all for questions. So just be open. Even if you had a stressful day, just still try to put on the best smile you can for us because it does affect us on how we if I don't get the best reaction, I don't want to come up there again and ask another question, you know what I mean?
Very true, very true. And that's where if I know already that I'm having a rough day, I try to communicate that so that it's not taken personally by a student. And model it for the kids so that they know to do the same thing. I try to tell kids, if you're having a rough day, just kind of give me a sign, give me a signal so that I know it's not coming directly towards me too. So that's good for all of our listeners to know and be reminded of. So speaking of adults, in your life, it doesn't have to be within the building, but who do you think has supported you the most throughout getting through high school?
I think my mom, she was a really big help. I just look up to her a lot. She's such a hard worker, and she's been through a lot, so much. I can't even, describe it. She's been through so much just by herself, taking care of me and my sister. Mm-hmm. So she wasn't, supportive, you do this, you're doing good, but, I just looked up to her, and it, was a support for me, because I was she can do this, so I can.
Yeah.
She's just the most strongest woman I know. I love her so much, and,
being
I just
a great
look up
model.
to her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then I know when you have a parent who's going through all of that, it can be stressful too because you don't want to add anything on their plate. So you try to make sure that you're doing everything as good as you can so that she doesn't have to deal with any of that.
Definitely, but
So mental health and being able to take care of yourself at the same time as you're doing everything else. It's so hard. Adults and students alike. All right. So if you were to give advice to freshmen or 8th graders coming up, or even future ones that might listen to this, what advice would you give them?
okay, this is something I like struggled with and I regret so much, but focus on your grades. Like, I don't stress it enough because colleges look at it and your GPA. So like, just focus. Like, I know it's your first like year and you want to like goof off and walk around the halls and like, you think you're so cool and you don't care about grades, but then later on you're like, oh, this grade really affected my GPA, and I'm like, oh my gosh, why didn't I pay attention? Why didn't I do this? And now I'm like, if someone told me that, like, I wish I had someone to tell me that, because I'm the oldest in my family, so I didn't have no one to be like, make sure you're worried about them grades because they'll catch up with you. So
That's true too. And sometimes as adults we say it and it's not always heard. So hearing it from another student or a just 2 weeks away from graduation alumni can come in sometimes differently. And we hope to do a podcast next year too, getting in some of our counselors and maybe an AP or even admissions person from a college to talk about those things to make sure that students are understanding what all needs to be done. But 8th graders and future 9th graders, just know it starts as soon as you start your high school classes. If you're in 8th grade taking high school classes, you've already started. And with your GPA, you can retake it to replace it if you don't do well, but time goes by fast and you don't have too many options. You want to be able to do work-based or dual enrollment or whatever options you may have when you get to be a senior. So don't limit yourself. Care now. All right. Last one. Can you tell us what you got planned after high school?
I'm going to go to college for dental hygiene. It was like rarely like last minute. Like, I just like decided I was going to do it, but I'm going to do it for children. Just because like growing up, I like wasn't the most confident about my teeth because everybody was really mean about it in elementary school. So I thought like I want to do it just to make other people feel confident about it and feel like happy about their teeth, because it wasn't something I felt happy about in elementary school or growing up, because it was like a big point for everybody else. So I just think it's a great route
to
for
give
me.
back and to help others so that they might not have those same experiences. You might not have an answer to this one, but when throughout your high school, because you said it was kind of last minute, did you have another path that you were thinking of going on?
I was thinking about nursing, but everybody goes to nursing, it's like the number one. You're like, oh, I'll just do nursing. Or I've always wanted to be a marine biologist. Like, that was like, I love sea animals, but I love money as well. Like, I like, spending and shopping. So I was like, I don't know if that's the best route, but like in my heart, I would do that in a heartbeat if it weren't for the money.
Okay. Well, and at least with dental hygiene, you get to make your own schedule. So that's another perk of that career. And maybe you can be a part of some sort of conservation or group that helps marine animals, so you can still combine your loves and passions together, make the money, and then have fun with helping animals on your down free time.
Yeah.
But all right. And is there anything else that while you have the floor you would want to share or tell anybody listening?
Just enjoy it, Don't, like, come to school dreading it, because I did. And I'm still finding myself doing that the last few weeks. But then I, like, catch myself. I'm like, this is your last couple weeks. Like, enjoy it, because it goes by fast.
And make the best of it, because you're here anyways. So make friends, get involved, join groups, clubs, sports, anything to help you enjoy your time here. But all right, thank you so much, and can't wait to see you walk across the hill.
Can't wait.
Red Devils for life.